The Ring of Power finale answered most of our burning questions about what was going on in Middle-earth, but it also left us wanting more answers, which we won't get until Season 2. Sure, we know who Sauron and the Stranger are, but what will happen to the elves or dwarves we've grown to love? In this video, we'll talk about some of the most pressing questions we have after the season finale. First off, are we gonna see more of Poppy and the other Harfoots? The main point of the Harfoot storyline was to introduce the Stranger and have him go on an adventure with a Harfoot as his companion. But as we got to know the rest of the Harfoots, especially Poppy Proudfellow, we fell in love with them. She quickly became the show's star because of how loyal she was to Nori and how well she sang The Wandering Day. But now that the Stranger and Nori are in Rin, will we hear from Poppy and the others again? Since Harfoots and other Hobbit-like creatures don't play a significant role in Middle-earth history until Bilbo and Frodo in the Third Age, it's unlikely that Poppy will meet Galadriel or the Menorians. But the ending did seem to set up Poppy as the Harfoots' next Trailfinder, so maybe the next time we see her, she'll lead the Harfoots across Middle-earth. Nobody goes off trail and nobody walks alone. Up next, what will Stranger and Nori find in Rin? At the end of Season 1, the Stranger and Nori Brandyfoot head east toward the land of Rin. They hope to learn more about the Stranger's past, like why he crashed on Middle-earth. The whole plot of Nori and the Stranger is brand new, so this new story could go in many different directions. We know even less about Rin, which makes them even less sure about their future. We do know that the Easterlings live there and that they help Sauron. Tolkien didn't say much else, so the people who made the rings might as well be free to do whatever they wanted. The Stranger and Nori might run into other members of the Istari Order, which the Stranger leads. Or maybe we'll learn more about the white-cloaked mystics who spent the whole season looking for the Stranger. We're going to uncharted territory either way, followed by Disa and Durin the Fourth's mithril digging expedition. We were sad that there were no dwarf scenes in the Rings of Power finale, but our last look at them this season was still quite memorable. In episode 7, King Durin III discovered that his son Durin IV was trying to get more mithril for the elves by mining for it. In one of the most heartbreaking scenes of the show so far, he turns his back on his son. But when Durin IV returned to his wife Disa, she said that Durin III was just jealous. In a speech where she channeled her inner Lady Macbeth's energy, she told him that one day they'd rule Khazad-dûm and all other mountains together, and that they could dig all the mithril they wanted. This made us wonder if they'll do some guerrilla mining next season, or will they do a Macbeth and try to get the throne by killing people? The second option would be intense, but it'd be interesting. Mithril would be a corrupting force, just like Sauron and the yet-to-be-made One Ring. Moving on to what's going on in Numenor. One of the essential part of Tolkien's mythology is the island of Numenor, but we've never seen it on screen until now. With the plot that brought Galadriel and Sauron to Numenor, the show steered quite a bit away from Tolkien's legendarium. But when Elendil and Queen Regent Miriel go home, the canonical corruption of Numenor's set in motion. Galadriel's part in Mordor's damage to Numenor will make people even angrier at the elves and the Valar. We can see this in Elendil, who's sad about Isildur and is noticeably colder than Galadriel when they part. Also, with the recent death of the king, Numenor will need to fill a power void, and Miriel promised to go back to Middle-earth to help the elves. Will she take her father's throne, or will Pharazôn, who's always plotting, take her place? And you can't forget that Arian found the Palantir, or Seeing Stone, in the king's room. She might have seen Muriel's vision of the wave, or even worse, she might have unwittingly given Numenor a way to talk to Sauron. Next, is Isildur dead? Isildur, who's Elendil's son, is another one of those people who could be dead but probably isn't. We last saw him in Mordor, where he was stuck in a fire. Now, his friends from Numenor all think he's dead, but who can blame them? Not many people can stay alive if their house is on fire and it collapses on them, or if they're alone in orc territory. But you can count on Isildur to do it, and he will. Isildur must live because he's critical to the future of Middle-earth, including the founding of Gondor and the upcoming battle against Sauron. Since Elendil let his horse Beric out into Middle-earth, there's a good chance Isildur will get to see his beloved horse again. He might go to Pelargir with Bronwyn, Theo, and Arondir, or try to sail home alone. One thing's for sure though, Isildur's still alive. Not to mention, where did Celeborn go? Celeborn's death is one of the biggest surprises in the show, second only to the fact that Sauron and Halbrand are working together. At least she believes that he's dead. He went to war to fight Morgoth and never came back. But we've never seen his body, so it's not clear if he's dead or not. As firm believers that Celeborn's still alive, we also have to say that Tolkien's works don't show Celeborn dying. He and Galadriel have a pretty happy life together, and their children and grandchildren are significant to the future of Middle-earth. Killing Celeborn would be more than just a change from Tolkien's stories. It would be like breaking the rules. Celeborn must be locked up somewhere, or he could be badly hurt returning to Galadriel while fighting. We can't believe he won't be more important to this show somehow. Let's learn more about Halbrand's betrayal and Galadriel's response. Galadriel spent the entire show trying to kill Sauron. Ultimately, she realizes she's done something much worse. She brought him back to Middle-earth as Halbrand. His betrayal hurts her, mainly since she's been worried all season that she's gone too close to the darkness. Plus, her trust in Halbrand could hurt her relationship with the other elves, depending on how much Elrond finds out and what he does about it. Sauron tricks many people in Tolkien's books, but he never tricks Galadriel. Even when he looks good as Anatar, the Lord of Gifts, she isn't sure about him. Halbrand's betrayal of trust might make her better prepared for future meetings with Sauron. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, even if it fights with you, gains your trust, and then runs away when you realize it's evil. We've all been there, Galadriel. We believe you'll get through this. Coming up, who's gonna handle Mordor, Sauron, and Adar? Sauron heads confidently into Mordor at the end of Season 1 of The Rings of Power, but we don't think it'll be easy for him to get to the top. After all, you can't just walk into Mordor, especially not when the orc who tried to kill you is in charge there. Yes, Sauron still has to deal with Adar, the father of the orcs. In episode 6 Udon, Adar told Galadriel that he killed Sauron because his quest for power had killed a lot of orcs. But we all know by now that Sauron isn't dead. And once Adar finds out that, there's no way he'll just give up the home he's made for the orc children. Next, what's gonna happen to the Southlanders? Even though Bronwyn, Theo, and Arondir didn't show up in the finale, we still have questions about them. Where will these three and the other Southlanders go now that the Southlands have been turned into the ashy hellscape of Mordor? In the 7th episode, a group of soldiers from Numenor stays behind on Middle-earth to help the Southlanders get to safety. Where are they going? Pelargir, the old Numen settlement at the south of the Anduin River. Also, the Southlanders still have to deal with other significant problems, such as the real threat of Mordor. Adar and his orcs have a place to live now, but that doesn't mean they won't try to make it bigger. Finally, how will the other rings be forged? The show's title makes it clear that in the end, 20 rings will be made. 3 for elves, 7 for dwarves, 9 for ordinary people, and 1 evil ring that Sauron will make in secret. Celebrimbor makes 3 out of 11 rings in the last episode of Season 1, so we know that the other 2 will soon follow. In Tolkien's books, the elves' ring are the last of the original 19 to be made, so their early appearance in the Rings of Power shakes up what we know from the books. But we feel that the dwarves will get their rings next, all because Elrond and Durin are friends. And on that note, that's a wrap for this video. Who do you think will get one of the rings next? Is there anything else you're dying to know? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.